They mocked us. They laughed in our faces.
Question 1. Why are the dumbest people put in charge of the smartest minds? And before you say it is because of democracy, people have the right to choose their leaders. Yes, people do choose dumb leaders, but you're not talking about those dumb leaders who are chosen by the people. True, you have no control over people's choice, but you have control over the choices you make. We are talking about the people appointed by the executive. We are talking about the head of parastatals, the cabinet ministers, the permanent secretaries in the ministries, the ambassadors. Why are the dumbest people put in charge of the smartest people? Why must you always find the dumbest, the most unscrupulous and crooked people to take charge of the day-to-day running of the government? Except of course you are the dumb one, in which case that has to be fixed. Welcome to Winning Mind, the program. This is the place where we do mindset panel betting. Let's get into the program. Exactly 1 year ago, during the Gen Z uprising in Kenya, I put out a video discussing reasons why Gen Zs cannot be stopped. I spoke as a person who deals with Gen Zs on a daily basis during our mentorship programs. I consider myself an expert on the subject. And let me ask you a question. If you have 10,000 Gen Zs demonstrating on the streets, how many of the 10,000 do you think are coming from these affluent families? Most of these children are very poor people. They are coming from the slums. They have seen their mothers suffer morning to evening, from Monday to Monday. These are people who are very angry, who are so disappointed, and they have seen a lot at their young age. So they're not afraid of suffering. They're not afraid of death. But clearly, 1 year later, nobody listened. Lessons have not been learned. And here we go again. The Gen Zs are back on the street.
Bana, let us abandon cowardice and whisper no more. Today we speak boldly like men who have swallowed the sun and fear no darkness. This very government had 12 months of uninterrupted grace, an entire revolution of the earth around the sun. They had time, resources, power, and the mandate of the people. And what did they do with it? They mocked us. They laughed in our faces while extending their middle fingers like empires do to peasants. Instead of leadership, they invested in silence. Not by solving problems, but by purchasing the loudest and empty debates amongst us, both not with gold, but with scraps. They thought that if they could bribe the noisemakers, the storm would come. But how do you silence thunder? By buying the wind? Who in their right mind attempts to stitch the anus when the stomach is dancing with violent diarrhea? It will not hold, it will explode. The wind has blown violently, mercilessly, and now the hidden anus of the chicken is fully exposed, and there is no more shame left to hide. And for those saying that they are now in government, let them hear this loud and clear. Eating 3 meals a day is not development, it is not prosperity, it is not freedom. It is merely the temporary illusion that the fire hasn't reached your house yet, but it is coming. And when it does, may your full stomach not slow you down, and may your feet not leave you behind when the people begin to run. And
if you think somehow this is a Kenyan problem and you are safe in your country, you need to look at your statistics. Hunger does not know boundaries. Frustration from unemployment and hopelessness for the future does not discriminate against skin color. Question 2. Why are we called men and women adults when it's time to pay taxes, or when it's time to fight your political battles, throwing stones and running your political points out of town? But suddenly, we become children when we demand leadership roles or when we demand good governance. All of a sudden, we are leaders of tomorrow. We must respect institutions and we must wait for our turns. When are we adults exactly, and when do we become children? Make up your mind, because ours is already made up. Question 3. Why are we jobless in a land overflowing with resources and opportunities? We have oil, we have gold, a fertile land, lakes, sunshine, basically God's gift basket, and still unemployment is our national hobby. Why? And telling us to go find jobs elsewhere, that we facilitate some intergovernmental conversations so that we can be shipped out to go and work some menial jobs in places where we are not appreciated. We are not interested. This is our home. We want to work at home, create opportunities at home. Is that too much to ask? Question 4. Everyone agrees there is corruption. there are corrupt people in government and economic crimes are being committed against the citizens. So, who are the corrupt people and why are they not being arrested? Why are they still roaming free? If you take Kenya for instance, 2 different presidents at 2 different occasions have admitted that monies to the tune of 2 billion Kenya shillings are stolen every day. We know the amount that is being stolen. We know how the money is being stolen. But somehow, who is stealing the money and how to stop him and how to punish him is where we draw the line. Please make that make sense. Question 5. Why are politicians wealthier than industrialists? Remember those people who actually build things. And we know politicians' salaries are public and their salaries cannot support their lavish lifestyle. Where do they get the money and why can't they explain themselves? And while we're here, please explain why a small clique, a small group of politicians have everything, own everything, while the majority of the people, majority of the youth, the nation of tomorrow, barely scrape by. 6. Have politicians discovered the fountain of youth? Why is there no retirement age for politicians? Why are the youth forced to compete with octogenarians for leadership positions? And lastly, question 7. Why is it that if I steal a chicken from my neighbor because I'm hungry, I'm sentenced to hang? But when a politician steals billions, leading to multitude of people dying, economic collapse, sentencing a whole generation to a future of uncertainty, no arrest is made, no sentence is passed, the investigations go on forever, and the honorable thief ends up actually getting a hefty position in government. Please make this also make sense. If you cannot be able to answer these and many more questions conclusively and convincingly, forget peace. The Gen Zs will never leave the streets. The Gen Zs will never leave you alone. The Gen Zs will never allow you to breathe easy. And if you are leading a country where majority of the young people feel and talk like this, even if as a joke.
This is the last thing I want to say before I die tomorrow. They told us, go to school. Education is the key. They said. We sat in classes with no windows. We studied in torn uniform on empty stomachs. We believed them. Our parents believed them too. They gave everything. Sold cows, missed meals, broke their back just to see us wear that gown. And years later, here I am, graduated, jobless, hopeless. Turns out, the key only opens doors if your father knows someone. If your uncle is a big man, if your name already matters. And those of us without names, we stay outside, knocking, forgotten. Then they say, start a business. But even small dreams are not safe here. Kanjos will come, or even the goons they send. They won't just destroy your stall, they will scatter your future like trash. So, if I die tomorrow, maybe my parents will be given 2 million. Maybe that is more than I could ever give them alive. So, shoot me close range. Don't leave me like others, breathing but broken. Because in this country, we were told to dream, but never warned this would kill us. This country is not safe. Not for people like us.
Then you know surely you need to do better. You need to be better. Youth despondency is a global problem, and if a solution is not found very quickly, something very nasty, very ugly is about to take place in so many countries around the world. Look, I may not have a solution for all these problems, but for a fact, I know a solution will not be this.